Action! Established!
I fart in your general direction.
Hey, welcome! And I believe it is August 5th. Yep, and 2016. This is the Friday Beer video brought to you by moi, Chris Collier, all the way from Galway, Prince Edward Island, Canada. And that's on the East Coast, Canada, and Galway is on the east end of Prince Edward Island. So there, now you know something. Actually, I bought some more beer this week. Surprise, surprise. I got some more Canadian instead of Bud. They're kind of being patriotic, I guess. Last week they had... these are retro cans, or vintage cans they call them. And they just had that all around. But the ones I bought this week, two 15-packs, they got a little map on the back end. You can see there's a map of Newfoundland and Labrador, and there's St. John's. No, Corner Brook, which is in Newfoundland. This is Newfoundland, this is Labrador up here. So they got a whole bunch of the Maritimes. There's St. John's in Newfoundland. There's St. John in New Brunswick. I got Halifax, Sydney. There's one for Sydney, for Nova Scotia. That's what Nova Scotia looks like. And almost the last one I got to was finally one from Prince Edward Island and Charlottetown. So I don't know if probably Charlottetown and Summerside are the only two on BEI. I'm starting to drool. It's a beautiful hot sunny day. It was supposed to be up to 28, something like that, and it probably is. And it said the humidex is 32. But there's a nice wind today, and it's keeping things fairly cool. But the beer we're going to have is... Was that expensive? Nope. Downtown Brown Nut Brown Ale by AMSTERDAM. So Amsterdam Downtown Brown all natural nut brown ale. And this is from Toronto, I think. Amsterdam Brewing Company, Toronto, Canada. Uncommonly smooth, deep, chestnut-colored ale with distinct drinkability, brewed fresh daily using all natural ingredients. Fresh, local, original, just Amsterdam good beer. Huh. Retail store, 473 milliliters, 5%. Does this say it? No additives, no preservatives, no pasteurized, non-pasteurized, no flavor. I added the flavor. Come to our music anyway. There, and that's the Jimmy Swift band. So if I get sued, you can go to hell. I get another penny enemy. I'll tell you that. Finger tree. So my dad was up. Actually, I got an email last night or a message on Facebook from Mom saying Dad wanted to know if I want to go mackerel fishing today. Mackerel is a type of fish. It's a saltwater fish. So we went down. I said, sure. We went down to the wharf in Surrey, and for some reason I took my camera. I didn't take any video or camera all day today. We went there, and we were fishing with lures, and there was a young girl there, and she said she had got 10 last night. But there was maybe about 10 of us there, and there was only one fish caught. So me and my dad stayed there for about half an hour casting away and never got anything, so we decided to go. We went up to one of my other videos, a place called Fountainhead. You remember that footage with all the fish in the water where I said I thought it was true but I wasn't sure? So I brought him up there and he said, well, let's try fishing them. So all I had for bait, well, we had some artificial bait, but I had some bacon too, because you can use the white part of bacon for mackerel. Anyway, so I had that, and Dad had an artificial worm on there. Garlic flavored worm from Gulp, I think it's called. So he put one of those on, a big half a dew worm. Anyway, so we walked down to where the fish we seen there, and they were still there, and he threw his in, and within 10 seconds he was reeling out a fish. And it is a brook trout, so they're all brook trout down there that we're seeing. Like, we seen another about 100 today. And this one was a keeper, it was big enough, and I said, well, if we caught 2 or 3 like that, we keep them, but not just one, kind of thing, you know. As it turned out, we didn't catch any more. again, we were there in the hot heat of the day, and there was all kinds of bright sun. I think if I go back there early in the morning or late at night, later in the evening, with a lawn chair, and just sit there and relax and drink beer or do whatever fishermen do to keep themselves occupied. I think drink beer is part of it. Unfortunately, I have to drive after that, so I wouldn't be doing that. But what's going on about? Anyway, yeah, and catch some fish there. Because they're big enough. They're keepers, by God. I've seen a duck there again today, too. I don't know if it was the same duck or not. Same kind. No, it was two of them. So we went from there up towards New Harmony, a place called the Bull Creek Road, where there's a monument there to a fellow that died in the woods there a while ago. And I say while, like 9 or 10 years ago. Some young fellow got involved with drugs down here, and blah, 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 involved with the police, and blah, like that. Anyway, a certain gang, let we say, from Montreal came down to get him, and he ended up running away from them into the woods in wintertime, and he ended up freezing to death, and then the coyotes got him, of course. Anyway, it was interesting. I think I told that story before, but this was before I moved here. I was just researching Surrey, and I came across that. I said, what kind of a place am I going to here? Anyway, I have a picture of that. I'll put it up if I find it. Then we drove around a little bit. We stopped by my buddy Jamie's up the road, who had a cold Bud Light. I'm not too sure why he was doing a Bud Light. Although he's probably the same as me. I'm not buying Budweiser because it comes in those cooler backpacks, and I already have about a dozen of those backpacks, so I don't want any more. But then again, Bud Light was being sold in those backpacks, and he had Bud Light, and he probably had 24 of them. Anyway, here we go. This beer is good, by the way. Good drinkable taste. Not hoppy. Or overly, which is good, of course. Nut brown ale. We'll give it one of the opinion, or the feeling that has nuts in it, but there's no nuts in it, it's just nut brown. Excuse me. Sorry, I've got a cold. I'll show some footage of Ben. Ben got his foot cut. He got it patched up yesterday.
Is this one? No. No, but you're looking this one. Look. Oh, there it is. Holy moly. That's a good cut.
In Canada, to tell you the truth. What happens if you get sick down there? Healthcare. Get involved in some kind of organized crime or something like that. You know. Sure, if you got sick down there, you'd come back to Canada, but I like the winter too much to go away for the winter. Plus, I got the dog and the cat. Can't travel with them, can you? Can you bring them down south? Maybe I leave Ben up here and I can buy a dog and a cat down there. See, I'll spend the winters down there with my winter dog and cat and come back up here for summer dog and cat. And yes, I would name those... I'd name them Dave and Ben down there too, just to make things more confusing. My other cat, Jeff, has been AWOL for a week. I fear the worst. I think there's something that's gotten him, and he's not coming back. It was $270 to get Ben fixed up. A couple of stitches, some Band-Aids, a shot to knock him out. Actually, the vet said the shot just to knock him out was going to be about $100. That's pretty expensive. She said, I could try to stitch his paw up, you know, with you helping hold him down with just Novocaine or stuff, you know, the needle stuff. He says, but it hurts so much to put the needle stuff in that she was saying it'd be best to knock him out. That way he's relaxed and he's not. And so I said, yeah, of course, yeah. What's $100 between me and Ben, eh? Hey, Ben, you'll pay me back, won't you? He's giving me that ear R-worded again. Yep. I don't know for sure, but I think I'd like to be sitting out here in the deck with my best friend Ben. How's your foot? I like beer, don't you? But Look, there's no beer up here. The beer is down there. You got to get your tongue into it. There you go, buddy. Yeah, it's a hot day. Feel free to spill it all over my slacks. That'll dry out. I got some medicine to give to you too. Oh, I forgot. I got some antibiotics or something like that. I don't know whether to give them to Ben or keep them for myself. I'll get you. He needs 1.5. Of course, they don't taste good, so I gotta force them down his throat. I could wrap them up in some cheese or something, maybe. You want some cheese? 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 Beer and cheese? Okay. The good news is that this Downtown Brown Nut Brown Ale is good beer. Made from Amsterdam Brewing in Toronto. 5%. I could drink a fair bit of that. It's got a good taste to it. It's like I say, it's not hoppy. That's a good taste. So anyway, we'll get this video edited up. We'll try to get it up before midnight, and we'll go from there. Oh, and he weighs 72 or 73 pounds. I always thought he was around 55, but he's 72. He's put on some weight over the winter. Well, Dave's losing weight, I'm losing weight, so somebody's about to be getting it. So, my parents come up on Sunday again. We have the lobster dinner. My aunt and uncle and my parents are coming up. $25 for lobster dinner, and includes chowder and coffee and biscuit and salad, and the lobster is already open for you. It's cooked and it's opened up, so you don't have to go through the hassle of cracking shells and stuff like that. Which, don't get me wrong, is a big thing about lobster. Eating lobster dinner is actually, you know, the wrestling you get opening it up. But once you've done that for, in my case, 50 years, if you don't have to crack open a lobster to get the lobster, you don't do it, you know. You'd pay the extra money just to not do it. But I was surprised last year that it was actually done. And there's a social hour, or there's a cash bar, and what is it? Cash bar and a silent auction. I donated some prizes to that, like I do every year. So that'd be a good time. They got crafts there and stuff like that. Be all right. Maybe I'll take some video of it. Yeah. Oh, would you look at that? I had a beer out warming up for you. Get in there, Connor Brook. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Huh. This is the type of bait I was talking about. Gulp. Comes in little jars. This is maggots. It says that out fishes live. And these are green maggots, which I've never seen green maggots before, but if it looks good. So I got some worms and some crickets, too. So they seem to work. They work for Dad. He caught a fish, I didn't. I got a couple bites. I think I had too much bacon on my hook, though. They couldn't get through to the hook. Yeah, it's that. Waste good bacon to try to catch a fish, and you didn't even keep the fish. That reminds me, I gotta get something going for supper tonight. Some barbecuing things, I think. So I decided on doing some beef ribs, covered with bacon, covered with garlic salami, covered with cherry tomatoes, and on the side I got some blue cheese and Louisiana hot sauce weenies. So they're gonna stay in there. I got a smoker box full of smoke, making smoke. So that's been in there for about an hour, so it's gonna take another hour or so, or midnight I'll have food. That's not in Ben's dish. Anyway, thanks for coming by. If you're ever in the area, feel free to drop by. And I mean both, if you're in Canada, drop by PEI. And if you're in PEI, drop by Galway. And if you're in Galway, drop by 871 New Zealand. And chances are, I'll have a cool and refreshing beverage for you. If nothing else. So thanks for dropping by. We'll see you the next time. As Chris out.
I'll wave my private parts at your aunties, you cheesy ladder, second-hand electric donkey bottom biters.
Connection aborted!